Joining me now, my favorite, Congressman Jim Jordan, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. Mr. Jordan, thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on.
You bet.
I want to spend some time with you on a bunch of these.
Great monologue, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
I just say great monologue, Larry. I don't think you could put it. That is a total summation of how bad things are under Joe Biden and Democrats controlling the government.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much, especially coming from you, and you're an old pal. But really, I mean, that is Joe Biden's America. It's not about fascism, it's about socialism. And one of the things, Jim Jordan, you know, classically endemic to socialism is the totalitarian state that does never tolerate free speech and never tells the truth.
Yep.
You know, and I think Biden, on all the counts that I mentioned, I probably left a couple out, he's not a truth teller. He's a truth denier in every single area.
Yep.
And all these attacks on Trump and Trump followers and Trump voters. I mean, I'm not pitching Trump for re-election. That's up to President Trump. All right, that's up to him. I'm just saying, here are the results. Here are the people that voted for him. How the heck does this President Biden get to call them all semi-fascists? That's the part I just don't understand.
No, and think about what he's done in the last 4 weeks. Just in the last 4 weeks, you use the term, this is a guy. Well, this is a guy who has raided the home of the former president, taken the phone of a sitting member of Congress, called, as you pointed out, 74 million Americans fascists and extremists. And then he said to those same people who he called fascists and extremists, oh, by the way, you're going to have to pay off the student loan debt of the people who vote for us, who at least I think vote for Democrats. And if you don't like that, guess what? Remember, I signed that bill that's going to unleash 87,000 IRS agents to come harass you. So when you say he's authoritarian and dictatorial, yes, he is. Just look at what he's done in the last 4 weeks. And you add that to that long list of the terrible policies and decisions they have made in the last 20 months. That's why I think on November 8th, Republicans are going to win in a big way in the House. And I think, frankly, we're going to win the Senate as well.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of independents are fed up with it. Not just the economy, but these violations of free speech. You know, Jim, what we learn now is that Biden's agents in the White House are calling Facebook and the other social medias, telling them to squelch stories, okay? And, of course, we learned that the FBI did likewise. Now, I'd say that's pretty unusual, wouldn't you? I mean, I can't recall. I've been around I've even been around longer than you. I've been around almost as long as anybody in there in Washington, D.C. I don't remember anybody ever trying to do that. The White House calling them up and say, don't print this, don't print that, don't print that. And by the way, Tony Bobulinski testifies for, 20 hours, 2 days, I don't know, whatever. And this FBI agent, Thibault, he just buries the whole thing. I mean, this is not freedom and democracy.
No, it's another hallmark of dictatorial and authoritarian type of governing. You know, they said to Facebook, don't print this story about Hunter Biden. It looked like Facebook complied with that. They've told people, the White House went to Twitter and say, take down people who are saying things against the White House position. They tried to form the Disinformation Governance Board, all the ways they try to chill speech, because the left, which now controls the Democrat Party and Joe Biden is beholden to, they now have a position where they don't respect and honor the First Amendment. There is no First Amendment for today's hard left. They basically say to you and I or anyone in district, if you don't agree with me, you're not allowed to speak. And if you try, we're going to call you racist and we're going to try to cancel you. That is how they operate. That's not the Constitution. That's not the Bill of Rights. That's not the First Amendment. That's not America. But that's who they are. And then they weaponize the government to come after you. We've seen it time and time again. So, again, I think that's going to be on the minds of voters here in 63 days.
You know, I forgot about the Disinformation Board. Right. That's a great point. That's another example of this authoritarian, dictatorial approach from the Biden administration. Jim Jordan, can I just, before I lose you, I want to talk about this fentanyl crisis, this fentanyl plague, which runs pretty direct. You know, Jim, let me just stop for 1 minute. I was at the dinner between Trump and Xi at the G20 meeting in Argentina. This was in late 2019, okay? And the first point that President Trump made to Xi was, would you make fentanyl capital punishment? And she said yes. Okay, right at the very beginning of this dinner. We're all lined up in this banquet table, blah, blah, blah. Trouble is, China is supplying the basic ingredients, which are then processed in Mexico, right? And then through the open borders and the drug cartels, you run up through the southwest to Colorado and east across the country, and you wind up at Hunts Point in New York. It's all a tragedy. Over 1 million people are dying.
Yeah.
I don't hear, Jim Jordan, one word, not one syllable about the fentanyl crisis from Mr. Joe Biden. Not one.
Yeah. No, because his Department of Homeland Security, his Secretary Mayorkas, they're intentionally opening the border. And as you pointed out in your monologue, this is why it's all coming in. And it also, I think, just highlights the difference between true leadership like we had with President Trump and the lack of leadership we have with Joe Biden, that we would have an open border. I mean, we literally went, Larry, from a secure border to no border. And when you have no border, not only do illegal migrants come in, but more importantly, this fentanyl, which is harming so many communities and so many families, have lost loved ones because of this. And as you point out, Joe Biden says nothing. More important, he does nothing, and in fact does the wrong thing, which is the whole open border policy that they currently have.
I mean, this is a scourge, and it's only going to get worse. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, this fentanyl stuff, according to the New York Post article, is a highly profitable venture. You buy this stuff cheap and you sell it up dear. It's packaged differently so it can get through the border. Biden never mentions it. Never mentions it. My hope, Jim, is when you take the House, you're going to take the House. When you take the House, you have oversight hearings on every single one of these issues.
Yep.
The fentanyl issues, the drug issues, the Hunter Biden issues, what exactly is going on with the FBI. I mean, you've got to do this. This would be the greatest public service. You've got to stop this movement or drift towards socialism and authoritarianism, Jim Jordan.
Well said. Well said. And we will. We plan on doing that. It's important we get the facts and the truth to the American people, and we begin to hold folks accountable who are responsible for these terrible policies and terrible decisions.
All right, my sir. Thank you very much for coming on. It's great to see you. God bless.